Hey guys, Dylan here and Rogue, and we are doing another CWCville podcast. Today we are going to be looking at the video uploaded on the 30th of January 2009. So it's about to be like that's a long time, God. We're about to reach the anniversary of that.
Shit, you're right.
God.
It doesn't even seem like that long ago, but it really was. That's fucking wild.
So I'm going to read what's up with this.
Yeah.
Chris reacts to his January 26th statement about having flown to Nintendo of America headquarters to meet Shigeru Miyamoto, or as Chris calls him, Mr. Miyamoto. He also angrily responds to Reggie feels Aimé. I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to spoil the video. Just so you know that this is happening during the Miyamoto saga. Some trolls pretending to be Miyamoto, making Chris think that he's gonna get a Sonichu game.
Yeah.
So that's all you guys really needed to know to be caught up on this. So let's get into watching this video. It's only 3 minutes long. So I don't know how long this is gonna take us to get through.
Do it.
Captain's log. Stardate January 30th, 2009. I respectfully detract the previous statement I made, where I said where the wheels were rolling with Nintendo of America. Because
what was up with that? He's acting like he's having a mild heart attack.
He's pooping. He's filling up his dirty crapped briefs right fucking before our eyes.
He seems like he's having like a mild stroke. Like a long inhale with his eyes closed.
His mom's underwear's a little too tight on him in this video.
the president of the company, Reggie Aimé, says,
That is the worst way I've ever heard his name said. Like, feels Aimé is how I say it, and I probably say it wrong, but that's nowhere close to being right.
It's like a little kid like just trying to read it verbatim, and it's so forced. So fucking harsh.
Aimé.
Fillet me.
as Candace blatantly canceled the project. And also I'm respectfully doing this retraction, but also I'm putting in my own 2 cents because Reggie.
I gotta say something. That little ball in the background, it's blinking right in my fucking eye, and it's irritating. I don't know what type of funhouse gif that was, but it's annoying. It's like right...
Like a snow globe.
It does look like a snow globe. I don't know what it's sitting on. I don't know what it is, but it's flashing right in my eyes.
Has just made a step too far. In the reply he has made to me, he has said that he has viewed my PowerPoint presentation, and while it did not have any nudity in it at all, it did have true love and romantic kisses between true straight lovers.
I love how, like, let's pretend this is real. He sent that shit to Nintendo. He thinks he did. He thinks that Nintendo would want to see Sonic characters making out.
No, of course they're not going to want to fucking see that. Nintendo is easily one of the most inoffensive companies in gaming when it comes to topics like that. That's not going to leave a good impression. That's not necessarily where you're going to want to show kids, because that's all Nintendo does. They make games specifically for children.
And he acts like that if Nintendo was interested, they couldn't just Google his name, find out who he is, and then be like, oh, what the fuck is this shit? You actually do have porn up. What is She Came for Quick? What is up with these porn videos that were leaked onto the internet, Chris? Like, did he really think that this would ever work?
He's got that naivety. And another thing I never understood is when Chris is talking to what he believes to be Nintendo, does he honestly think that Nintendo can just make Sonichu shit? Because Sonichu is clearly a breach of copyright. If they were to actually do anything, they wouldn't be able to make Sonichu.
Yeah, I love that he thinks he just has to talk to Nintendo and not Sega. But I think at this point, Nintendo and the Pokemon Company are kind of split. So he'd have to talk to the Pokemon Company to begin with, not even really Nintendo.
I didn't realize they were split.
Like, I think Nintendo publishes the games for the Pokemon Company, but I think the Pokemon Company is its own entity. It runs around striking people by itself without Nintendo. I think
I always figured it was like some kind of dedicated, just a studio dedicated to solely just Pokemon.
no, I think the Pokemon Company is a company in of itself now. And they're just publishing their stuff through Nintendo.
Well, that's news to me.
I could be wrong, but I think the Pokemon Company is its own entity, separate from Nintendo, and they just work together like Nintendo and HAL did.
Yeah. Before we move on, another thing I was thinking of, at least when I watched this video a few months ago, if he's trying to approach Nintendo about like his Sonichu franchise, like if we disregard the fact that it's a bastardized Sonic, what about the fact that Sonichu is a mishmash of other intellectual properties like Transformers and shit too?
Oh yeah, at this point he had just made like a Ghostbusters reference, not like the popular Ghostbusters, but still it was a
cartoon
version of Ghostbusters, and he thinks he can just do that. I guess because
that and Family Guy too. He's made parallels to that and Beavis and Butthead in his comics.
yeah, I think that what he thinks is going to happen is like at the time there was a lawsuit going on with Family Guy and I think Carol Burnett show, and it was a very infamous lawsuit. And I don't remember if Family Guy won it or not, but that might have made Chris Chan, like, it might have fueled his ego. Because I think Family Guy did win that lawsuit. And it was about if you're doing something for parodic purposes, then you could do it anyway. And I think that's why Family Guy was able to show her character on screen. And I think that's what Chris Chan thinks he's doing, because he has mentioned before that Sonichu's a parody, and that's for parodic purposes, even though he's fucking lying and he does believe in it. But I think that's what he
doesn't understand parody. he doesn't understand parody at all. It's not he's not even making social commentary or anything. His shit does not fall under any sort of fair use when he wants to approach it as a business venture. It's just blatant copyright infringement. He's infringing on a countless amount of intellectual properties. And if he was to actually try to pursue this, if any company was dumb enough to take him up on this, he would be in so many fucking lawsuits, he wouldn't have time to do anything else.
Well, one of the things that encompasses like fair use is how much of the product you use. Like,
right.
Because of how ingrained Pokemon is the Sonichu, I think it's copyright infringement. Because of how ingrained Sonic is the Sonichu, I think it's copyright infringement. What matters is, if you remove these elements, would it still be recognizable as its own thing? And I don't think Sonichu can be recognizable if you remove all Pokemon elements and all Sonic elements. Or hell, Yu-Gi-Oh! No. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh's in it too, all the fucking time, and they straight up say Yu-Gi-Oh! They don't even say Duel Monsters, they say Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, it's because I think the most creative interpretation of Sonichu had to have been the when those trolls rebranded Sonichu as like an anteater or some shit.
Oh yeah, the Anteel. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
We got a super chat. Game Freak made Pokemon, but Pokemon is owned by Nintendo, and there is a Pokemon company that, if I'm correct, just focuses on Pokemon-related businesses, cards, toys, games, and etc. Love you guys. See, I don't really understand how it works. All I know is that the Pokemon Company exists as its own entity, and it can shut things down without consulting Nintendo. Because the Pokemon Company has shut down Pokemon-related stuff, and it wasn't Nintendo that did it, it was them. So they have some type of legal authority over Pokemon.
It's probably similar to how, like, other game publishers, like Take-Two Interactive, own other game developers. That's rather just a game development studio, and Nintendo is just the publishing platform.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's how I thought it was.
Yeah.
That Nintendo just publishes the games for them.
Yeah, like if a company works as the publisher, like the mainline owner and publisher of another company, then the company owns the rights to that intellectual property, and the subsidiary, which would be the Pokemon Company, would be the ones who develop it because they're licensed to do so. It's essentially a contractual thing at that point.
Yeah, and this is the type of conversations we have to have because Chris Chan thinks that Sonichu's gonna get on the Wii. These are the conversations we have to have.
Actually break down business and shit for video.
For a fucking Chris Chan podcast where he thinks he's gonna fight fucking Reggie.
All of this because of a 3-minute video.
And Reggie, apparently, he objects to this. And I will not stand for this, because in real life, as well as in the comic strips, I am a warrior for true love and honesty.
Would you say that Christian's a warrior for honesty?
Fuck no. He's only a warrior for his own interpretation of honesty.
And his own interpretation of love. Because he straight up tried to steal multiple people's girlfriends. So
Absolutely.
Chris is all about destroying love when it benefits him.
Yeah, he doesn't genuinely care about love and shit. Like, whenever he was going after Casey, when it was the Casey, Liquid, and Chris call, he outright gives up Casey at one point, saying, "You can have her." He doesn't care. Casey was just a status symbol. He couldn't stand that somebody posing as him was getting China, and he wasn't. He wanted that China for himself. And when he saw that it was a waste of his time, he was willing to give her up.
To be fair, Casey isn't worth fighting over to begin with. She was fucking annoying.
That's true. She's obnoxious.
She's not that good looking, and she's pretty fucking annoying. Like, her voice fucking irritated
abysmal.
me.
I listened to that exact call on a stream a few weeks ago, and her voice is so fucking grating. I can't say I blame Chris for not giving as much of a shit, even though he's still intellectually dishonest.
We got a super chat from either Anthony or Antoine. I've seen it either way. Lewis King. I like how when Chris takes characters, it's okay, but when someone takes his characters, he wants to throw a hissy fit and threaten them. Well, see, if companies acted like Chris Chan acts, nobody would have anything. Chris Chan and Nintendo are like good parallels to one another. Chris can't use Sonichu because Nintendo won't let him have Pokemon. And no one can use Sonichu because Chris Chan won't let them have Sonichu. It's a weird conundrum we find ourselves in.
I don't think there's anything really coherent when it comes to Chris. Trying to understand the coherency of Chris is like trying to unravel a bowl of spaghetti. It's all over the fucking place.
I will not stand up for this. So...
I will not stand up for this.
Okay, well, all the power to you, Chris. Me too. I agree.
So for all my message to all my loyal true Sonichu fans,
he sounds like he's breaking, like he's fucking malfunctioning.
All I can equate it to is like his brain is predicting the fact that his PlayStation Eye would start making skips in the videos, and it's preemptively fucking doing it. His brain runs off of Windows ME.
send your letters to Reggie Phil Aimé's care of Nintendo of America in complaints. And also, Reggie and Mr. Miyamoto, still having some respect for Mr. Miyamoto, but lost all my respect for Reggie, even though I've only seen him the one time on a video I saw on my Nintendo Wii. Because Mr. Aimé...
I love that he has to have a Wiimote and a nunchuck to address that he's talking about a Wii.
Well, it's he always uses like exaggerated hand gestures and emotions and shit. I've always seen it as similar to how characters in video games will act, like motion captured characters, really super animated to try to make up for the tonal dissonance between animation and the voice acting. And I think he takes that as literal, which is why he has to grab a prop or why he has to move his arms around and shit to get his message across. It's very cartoony.
I love that he's addressing Nintendo from a PlayStation console as well. Like,
true.
Has lost my respect because he objects true love. I mean, it's between straight lovers.
That's what Nintendo's worried about in 2009. Are they straight?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like if I started up a Mario game and I saw something about men kissing other men, I don't think I could trust Nintendo. So maybe Chris is onto something here. Maybe Nintendo's a bunch of, or at least they were a bunch of fucking bigots. The time I played fucking Luigi's Mansion and I went into the room with the two gay ghosts, it ruined my whole fucking night. I can't stand for that kind of shit.
Yeah, Chris Chan's got a good point here. Also, I love that he's wearing like a greenish brown shirt. Like, this shirt is fucking ugly. but it does look like something he thinks that Liquid would wear. Like, why didn't he wear this shirt when he was impersonating Liquid?
Aren't all of his shirts ugly, though? To be totally fair.
Yeah,
Is there
you're
ever
right.
a time Chris looks presentable?
No, there really isn't. I mean, I guess when he was trying to act normal, where he's doing the "Hey guys, Chris here" voice, like maybe that.
When when he was out with the fake tattoos and shit.
Yeah, the
or the person
roll-up
recording him?
tattoos. Yeah. I'm totally
Fucking-
normal.
That guy, he didn't even look normal then. If you were working retail and saw him walk into a store like that, I'd be like, oh yeah, he's gonna fucking loiter.
He
He's
looked
gonna make the women uncomfortable.
he looked like a gay homeless person. So at least that's like a semblance of normality.
He dresses like a default Sims character.
He dresses like an adult Arthur the Aardvark.
He does.
I mean, homo males are objectionable. They're
I love that in his Nintendo video, he's just gonna go on a rant about fucking gay people. Yeah,
What
fucking.
was that little arm cross he was doing? Was that to be like he's saying he's against it, like it's an X over the homos?
I thought it was
Wait, what the fuck
Wakanda
was that?
forever.
Black Panther
Very
hates the
objectionable.
homos too.
But when it's between a man and a female, it's true love and honesty. So, Mr. Aimé, you've lost my respect.
This is the stupidest shit ever. What do you think he's doing here?
This is the Animu shit, right?
The fucking
The Sailor Moon shit?
Yeah. Oh, we got another super chat. On another note, as someone part Asian, the way how he mispronounces Miyamoto, a Japanese name, makes my inner Asian triggered. LOL.
And you have crossed the line. And if you want to see me at court, I'll see you in Charlottesville court. And I'm doing.
I love how he thinks a Japanese company would have to go all the way to America to fucking settle something.
Yeah, I think it really stems from how he always wants everything to be convenient for him. The court date's going to happen there because he's autistic and it's convenient. Remember, he owns the intellectual property of Sonichu, or the copyright, so he thinks. So he gets to choose where things get to be. And that's just simply not the case.
This parody of Sailor Moon in response to the Lost Sailor Moon title that would have been released to Japan for Nintendo Wii.
Fascinating.
And as a matter of fact, you know what? It would.
It's already kind of skipping. This is before he
Yeah.
broke it, though, right? I think.
I think he hit the camera once before this.
Oh, okay. So this is like the prelude to it being completely fucking broken.
I think I could be wrong, but it was the video of him like throwing a temper tantrum in his room, and he stops and acts like he picks up the phone and then screams into it and then throws it at the camera.
Oh, yeah.
I think that happens before this.
It might have.
Be good to see you both, Reggie Imus and Mr. Shigeru Miyamoto, in court, in front of my family and friends, because then they can see that that the business has been true and that there are no lies in it. So with that, I'll leave y'all with that, and also, go ahead, come on, I'll see you, Reggie and Mr. Miyamoto. I'll see you both in court, Charlottesville, Virginia court. I have a grand number of
Law.
family and friends.
Why do you have to use like 3 different synonyms to say a great number?
He didn't even say, is slaw even the right term? Isn't it slew?
It is slew.
He's got a coleslaw of people.
He misused the wrong big word.
Yeah.
We got another super chat. At what point do you think Chris will lose interest? At what point do you think people will lose interest in Chris's antics? I would say people already have, because Sonichu is fucking boring. But I think people will truly lose interest in him when like his mom dies and he goes off the internet for good. I think that's when people will leave him alone.
When he's no new updates.
Yeah, when he's gone.
That's going to be the end of it. Chris tubers are fucked when that happens.
Locally, that will defend me in my character. So let's see.
I don't think a character defense would fucking work in a copyright case, Chris.
Oh, that they won't care. That's a totally different matter. Can you imagine him in court, though, for something like this?
I think he would go for the whole fucking defense he went with when he went to court the other time, where it's like, he's a giant child. He's a man-child. That was their fucking legal defense. And he got very upset about that, but that's what they would have to do to get him out of that.
But even now, like, because Chris is going to be going to court again eventually in his future. It's inevitable. He has all kinds of debt. He's going to go to court again. And do you think if he goes to court now, do you think he would still be LARPing as Sonichu? And, like, talk in the third person about his mama to the judge?
I don't know, because when he's gone to, like, psychiatrists and shit before, he drops his shit. So chances are he's going to drop his shit in front of normal people and then just be back on it again later and say, I had to pretend to be Chris or something.
Right. It was, the LARPing is a comfort blanket, and he can't use it because he knows in those instances he can't fuck around. Not too much, anyways.
Yeah, because when he said he had multiple personalities, he was still seeing people at that point, but he didn't tell any of the professionals that he had multiple personalities. He just told Casey, of all people.
Because what? Okay, so if he went to see like a psychiatrist now, right? All this LARPing shit's going on. Even if he drops the act, I'm sure he would mention that he's been trolled on the internet. And wouldn't you think that the therapist or psychiatrist would take a little bit of interest and just Google Christine Weston Chandler and just see all the crazy fucking shit Chris is saying every day?
But they'd have to give a fuck at that point. And that's the
true.
hardest thing for any professional to do, is give a fuck. They're just getting paid.
It would be hard not to be intrigued by Chris, though. I mean, I know we're a bunch of nobodies on the internet, but I can't help but feel like some psychiatrists would see that Chris is definitely unusual and would want to take a bit of a deeper dive. It'd be hard not to be somewhat, at least morbidly, interested.
I would like it if a real fucking documentary got an interview with Chris. That would be interesting, instead of, like, the fake documentaries on fucking Fiverr. The ones that are kickstarted. Like, I would love it if, like, a professional sat down with Chris.
Yeah, something actually properly and professionally handled. I'm actually surprised that hasn't happened yet, given all the notoriety Chris has.
We've got 3 seconds left. Let me see what it is.
What you got? Peace.
Okay, so that was the first Chris Chan versus Reggie video. If I find more interesting Chris Chan versus Reggie videos, then we'll do a part 2 or maybe a part 3. Because I'm pretty sure there's one where he screams at Reggie. But I think this one is pretty good. I think this one is good enough for now. We got a quick little stream done. We got some shit ready. It's getting pretty late tonight. Hopefully you guys who are watching this got your worth out of it. I think it's funny that Chris Chan thinks that he would win a lawsuit against Nintendo or the Pokemon Company. I think that we got some good nuggets out of this.
Do you think the only reason he hasn't been taken to court over any sort of copyright shit is because he's retarded?
No,
and it's just that.
It's because he doesn't make enough for a company to see it as worth it.
True, yeah. That's very true.
If he was making like $100,000 off of Sonichu, then maybe Nintendo would give a fuck. But there's just some loser. The most they'll do is just send him a cease and desist and be done with it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They don't give a fuck. They're not gonna bother trying to fuck with him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Do you got anything you want to say before we wrap this up?
If you shake him more than 3 times, you're playing with it. It's words to live by.
Though that is some great words of advice. My final thoughts is fucking I don't know shit about legal stuff. Don't take my legal talk for real.
You should become a paralegal.
That's my fucking final thoughts. So many people talk about legality on the internet. I don't fucking know anything. Look up your own shit.
Yeah.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye-bye.